hit the button. You know how that goes. Blooper time sometimes.
Okay.
And we're live. Welcome, 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 everyone, to the fifth and final Faith, Hope, and Love Summit. 3 beautiful evenings with a very sacred container. The first thing I would love for you to do is just drop in and be more present. So I'm going to ask you, just take a breath, your natural breath, and feel the ground beneath you, your chair, the bed, however you're seated. Take a breath in, allow your shoulders to just soften, and take a breath in and allow your heart to open just a little bit more than it did a moment ago. And welcome. With the last 5 years, we've had the honor to have such amazing stories, teachers, transformations, healings happen. And with every cycle, there's a start, there's a rise, and there's a closing. And this year, this is the cycle of closing. In order to open up the quantum era that is coming before us. And in doing so, the goal is to create this beautiful sacred container for you to be able to receive easier, to be able to experience a sacred activation for your up and coming year. You are going to be able to hear some beautiful visionaries through conversations. Some are pre-recorded because of their locations, and some will be live, and it is a combination. But there's nothing for you to do but sit back, relax, nothing to prove, no notes need to be taken unless you want to, but there will be replays until January 1st. So I invite you to release and relax instead and just allow yourself this gift. And with that, for those who do not know me, I am Karina Carj'an Bowman. I am a holistic health practitioner, an author, a dream seer, an energy architect. There's a whole list of things. I've been doing this for decades, and if you ever need to look me up, you can on my website, carj'an.com/about, or come into our YouTube, which we are broadcasting from tonight as well, and will the next 2 nights. So with this, the first set of guests are Perot and Claudia, and they are bringing to you the celebration of breath. So, Colleen, would you love to share the screen? And yes, Colleen is here, and she is my co-pilot for those who are not used to seeing her yet, but please coming into the YouTube and you'll see her often. Colleen?
Absolutely. I would love to share. Here we
Thank
go.
you. Oh, and my job here is just to keep the thread of continuity, sacred space, presence, and open heart throughout the summit. Well, hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming to our beautiful 5th annual Summit of Faith, Hope, and Love. Spirit brings this to us every year, and we are here specifically this time to help you get into a sacred activation for the up and coming year. And tonight we have such amazing, amazing guests you are absolutely going to love. We have our beautiful, beautiful Claudia Solis, and from Chile, by the way, and Piotr Chipiel from Ireland. So therefore, this is pre-recording, but we are showing you live on the very first night to open up this amazing, amazing 3-night event for you. And tonight we're bringing the breath of celebration. Now with that, Claudia and Piotr both are master Soma breath masters and mentors and retreat leaders. Okay, number one, and they're my mentors, by the way, and and my new friends. And also, though, they have their own specialties as well. And Claudia focuses on the women, the divine feminine, with menopause and coming through it and celebrating the new era of your life in your being. Trust me, it is not over. It is just beginning. And Perot specializes in agelicious, mindful fitness, and there's quite a bit more to both of them. And I am going to have them explain and share a little bit about themselves first. And then we are going to share what it is celebrating our breath, because celebration is sacred. It's a sacred part of life. And with that, it's sacred to be present, and it is sacred to have gratitude. And as we inhale, we can actually bring in the mystical remembrance of the space of our real truth. And as we exhale, we can release the things that no longer align with our joy. And it helps bring us through very powerful, seemingly adversarial incidents that happen in our lives, because life happens. So we're here. So I am going to, shall we go ladies first? Claudia, please tell the audience a little bit more about yourself.
Of course, my pleasure to be here. Thank you for this incredible invitation, Karina. I am so honored to share a little bit of magic, plant a seed on everyone who's going to be watching this and hearing our stories, actually. So thank you for giving that space. So while I live in Chile, South America, I'm turned 55 actually last Saturday, and I'm a wise woman. I'm navigating menopause, I'm navigating aging. But my approach to healing, my approach into the divine connection, it's just for so many years ago when I was struggling with a divorce and I was raising my kids. So I'm a human, guys. I just want to say this, like, you don't need to born special. We are humans. But in some point of my life, I was in the bottom, right? Maybe in the darkness, if you want to say. And fortunately, I have this divinity that actually opened my eyes to see further, to really understand the process on how amazing and powerful we are. And then is when I started educating myself and learning about energy for almost 10 years, flower medicine, cacao ceremonies. But when I turned 48, I had a full hysterectomy, and breath work was my life jacket, actually. And I just went to menopause with no process, nothing at all. Just one night to another, I was menopausal and disconnected so deeply from my body. I was disconnected from my joy, from my pleasure, for lack of energy completely. Super scared, because everything that I knew in that moment about energy and medicine, natural medicine, nothing was really working actually to connect with my body again. And I found breath work, and it was just magic. and it became my absolutely desire to try to teach these amazing tools with my other tools that I have as a healer to reclaim back the power in women, to really understand that this is a portal. If you want to, if you let it, feel that importance on the process, that we are much more than what society thinks we are, and how beautiful and how amazing is to celebrate that awareness, because it's just about remembering again. We need to remember because everyone has the power. So the celebration of, again, connecting with the breast as a breach of that portal, right? To really see and awaken into the magnificent opportunities we have is just incredible. So I'm so grateful for that knowledge, for that approach in my life. And of course, in all my beautiful women that has been with me for so many years, where I can actually see so many transformation. And it's just to explode my heart when I have that opportunity. So
Well,
here we are.
Claudia, thank you so much. And yes, when the physical body is altered to such an intense degree, everything changes. Our frequency changes, everything changes. We get disconnected in such powerful ways, and to look for that process to how do we reconnect. And as you said, breath is a portal. It's a bridge. It is sacred. But we'll get into that a little stronger in a few minutes. We want Perot, my love, to tell people a little bit more about yourself, and why did I say agelicious for them?
Mm, I love it so much. Thank you so much for the beautiful introduction and for having me here and us here and sharing the light and the remembering, as Claudia beautifully mentioned, because that is exactly what I do with every single person that I encounter. It's all about bringing in the ultimate mind body energy connection. And for me, being so disconnected from the body for so many years and being really in the mental chatter of the conditioning and the programs and how the world wanted me to be and perform, was so disconnected from my true authentic self, and was so disconnected as well from my soul's purpose, from my soul's journey on this planet. So I help people with the reconnection to the body, the soma. And that's how I created mindful fitness, because I understood that by using the body as a beautiful source and as a beautiful tool for us to really feel what the body tells us, because the body constantly sends us signals, constantly sends us messages. And if we are intentionally tapped into the body, we understand when the body says, hold on, don't do that, stop, do not go there. This is not something you should be bringing into your life or the life of others. So the remembering of how to use the body and how to be in the soma, and soma comes from the Greek body, it's so important. So for me, after years and years of being disconnected from the body, and being in the mental chatter that just wanted me to just perform and show up in a certain way, inauthentically, without vulnerability, being really ashamed of who I was. And I'll explain that a bit later as well, because as Claudia's story is so powerful, the same thing with my story. There is always that moment where it's a breakdown, which then becomes a breakthrough, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I truly believe also in a phrase called "your mess is your message," and by mess and by the breakdowns and the breakthroughs that we're going through in life, if we use it as storytellers, because we're here as well in this playful, joyful way to tell stories so that people can connect to us and connect to their own life and their own experiences. So for about 28 years of my life, I was just in the constant rush and chase and just trying to prove my worth and my belonging and trying to get acceptance from others, because I didn't accept myself for who I truly was, and as I'm truly am today. So, and as I mentioned, this is so powerful because the body will constantly tell us and sends us signals. But if you're so disconnected, you just ignore the body, and the body eventually will break down. An accumulation of stress will eventually lead to a lot of breakdowns in the body, and eventually lead to not only chronic stress burnouts, but also autoimmune diseases and cancers. And in my case, at the age of 28, I was diagnosed with cancer. And that diagnosis hit me hard because it just allowed me to really understand that whatever the world wanted me to be is not my true purpose. And the world wanted me to, again, to chase, to go and continue on, running and rushing, when in fact, that was not my soul's purpose. So with the diagnosis and then going through 16 chemotherapies, I discovered how to be present in the body, how to work with the body, strength training with fun, mindfulness, and joy. The breath, right? As Claudia again mentioned, and you, Karina, also beautifully mentioned, it is the bridge. It is the bridge between our past into the present, our future into the present. It is the bridge between chaos and calm. It is the portal. It's a gateway. So if we can connect with the breath, we become superhumans. And through that experience, connecting to the body, then connecting to the breath, understanding as well that whatever is going on in the mental chatter is actually scripts that are not mine. They're programs and conditioning from society, expectations, parents, ancestors, but they're not mine. They're not who I truly am. So this is why in the whole process of breaking down, going through this diagnosis that, hits hard, but actually there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And if you can connect to the body, connect to the energy, the breath, and connect to as well the mental chatter, and start rewriting, reconditioning, seeing as well how the voices in the head, they'll always be there. Hello, welcome live. They'll always be there. But you're actually in charge to give compassion, forgiveness, love, and kindness towards these voices, and start changing the narrative. So this is why, for me, the well-being aspect, the ultimate mind-body energy connection that I teach, that I guide, that I coach people throughout the world, and I have beautiful events where I speak at as well, so we can really connect people back to who they truly are. And we're all superhuman beings, super incredible beings. If we tap into our talents and gifts, our breath, we are truly limitless. And that is my mission, my small little mission on this planet, in this lifetime, in this body. And again, I'm so grateful to be here and to share that magic with you all.
Oh, well, thank you so much, sweetie, because yes, first off, 16 chemotherapy treatments. I mean, talk about an invasion of your body in order to hear what your body's been trying to say. And I come from a place where the breath and the body have their own communication. And in that communication, they now start to give the mind the job of how to start thinking instead of the noise. All the noise. And all of us have been through the pressure points of society and our upbringing and telling us how to be who we are, how to speak, what to do. And every single time we all get to a point, we recrescendo into a space that it is not who we are. We are so far off our soul path that something happens to our physical body. And I've been there more than once, I'm going to say. But yes, it is that crashing point where it's also a choice of decision making. And everybody has a choice what to do from here, how to perceive, how to continue forward. And just by first embracing the sacredness of the breath, you're going to be able to calm your system. You're able to gain some space within yourself and expand your perception of what everything is, so you can start to gain some clarity around everything. And not only are you both amazing, by the way, everybody, you want to go into Soma Breath as Sundays, trust me, they're amazing. And they just did a gorgeous the breath celebration experience. I'm going to put it that way. And we're going to have that information in the gratitude gift basket that will come after the summit. But they're also amazing, wonderful course creators, because when all of this happens, you want to come out there and share. And yes, sometimes it's in person and the retreats, and that's wonderful. But it's also something that is very tangible at a time when you can't reach us directly, that we do have courses that you can follow and guide you into your next steps. And so when I say to hear what they have to offer, it is just not, oh, I just read this and here we go. No, we've all had series of very deep transformational experiences. And that's why the trueness and the pureness of transformational coaches is a very solid thing when you have literally experienced it and transformed yourself. So in these experiences, okay, so why do we focus around celebration with all this? Okay, because a lot of people are going, wow,
Love
this
that.
is a bunch of crap that happened. How can it be good? Yes, I've had a busted back. I had an incident where I broke my foot 3/4 off my leg, and they said I'd never really walk again and stuff. So we've gone through stuff, but we've also learned to celebrate. So let's get into that a little bit.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because I think that yeah, life is not easy sometimes, but I will say that we completely forget that pleasure is our right, is our birthright. We born to have pleasure, right? But something happens in the road because of limitations, society, culture, your gender, whatever it is that we start forgetting that. And I'm not saying that when you have a very difficult moment in your life, you cannot embrace that, right? Sadness, anger, frustration, whatever it is, but don't get stuck in that, right? Because we know that we are energy. Energy is vibration. We vibrate in different ways. And when you start vibrating low, everything that's going to come to your life is going to be low at the same time, right? Because it's not possible to attract high vibration when you are vibrating low. So what I'm saying is that the beauty about the breath and the connection with celebration is remember, like the Lion King, who you are. Remember that you come here to have pleasure. Remember that you came to have joy. Remember, so what you can do, even if you are navigating a very hard moment of your life, to celebrate that transition anyway, because it will pass. It's just a moment. It's not your life. Piotr is not his cancer, right? It was a moment of his life that make the person that he is already now. My hysterectomy is not who I am. It was a moment of awakening, in my opinion. It was a gift to, put me into my mindset on what is this? Why I need to, navigate now these crap of fears that people are telling me that is going to happen when I get older. So I took a decision. I can be completely miserable and cry my next 40 years and fight against age and, and feel miserable and believe that aging is illness and believe that women is over. Or I can say, you know what? No, I'm just going to turn this into a celebration. I will turn this into something that I love, that I feel pleasure about, that it will transform me with difficulties. Yes, because for some reason, right? For some reason, we choose to come to this world where we learn from pain. I don't know why we have this signature in the universe, but we learn from pain. We learn from difficulties. We need to transcend that in some moment, right?
I didn't read the fine print, by the way. Yeah.
So that is why I believe it's so important when you really recognize that with 5 minutes of breath, with connection, It's always something that you can celebrate. Someone who's near you. You wake up, you maybe have nature around your house, maybe you have people around you, maybe you will have a great something that it will help you to rise that vibration up. It's your thoughts that is going to make you a different life, a different perception, right?
Absolutely. And where you put your attention, your focus, that's where the energy is going to flow. And by the way, I did work on that production at Disney of The Lion King. I was in the animation for 10 years. So
I love that so much. Remember who you are. Like look in the mirror and just say who you are. And it's okay to don't know.
it is that
Yeah.
deeper connection that we can get to. And you said something important, and I don't want to gloss over it. 5 minutes of breath. Breath awareness, breath as you breathe. Just 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You can
it change.
reset. It changes everything.
Yes.
It
Exactly.
changes your
I
focus in a bad mood.
absolutely, I totally agree with everything that Claudia said, and I will add to that something that I really am very vocal about, and I really want everyone that listens to this to feel it as well. Whatever you're going through is valid. So whatever you're going through, your pain is valid. So I'm not saying that when I was going through cancer that I already saw that this is my awakening, that this is, oh, I understand that this is going to be my breakthrough. Of course not. And let's be totally honest as well. You'll be watching this. This year is the year of the snake, the shedding, the transition, the letting go, the year 9. Okay. We'll be welcoming soon year of the horse, right? New beginnings, forward thinking, beautiful running and rushing, and then in the most soulful way as well, because there's different things. But I also like to put this as a little note here that pain is something that definitely teaches you. It brings wisdom. It brings you this sort of deeper understanding of you as a being are a resilient being. You can get through it. But I do think as well that there is something called suffering, and suffering is optional. Now, so this is very important to, because pain, we're human beings. We will endure physical pain, emotional pain, energetic pain. We will. And by all means, this year for me has been a year of transitions, shedding, letting go. And I will never question source, God, Allah, universe, and say, come on, stop it, because that's not how we evolve and grow and become phoenixes that rise from the ashes. But at the same time, I knew that if I'm going through pain, let me go through pain. Let me feel it. Let me go through that dirt. Let me just fall down. Let me feel the blood. Let me cry. Let me feel all the emotions. Because again, emotion is energy in motion. So I'm never going to stop it. So whatever I'm going through, whether a breakup, a loss, an attachment, a change of countries and a change of, literally, I've been through all of these this year. So and if you start understanding as well that in that pain there is the magic of getting through it, the breath will be with you, because again, we all come to this planet with an inhale, we leave with an exhale, but what you do in between is all about you reconnecting to source, remembering who you are. Remember who you are, and remember that pain, as hard and challenging as it can be in the moment, it too shall pass. Suffering and staying in that thought and in that mindset of like, why me, poor me. I remember as well, and I know I'm very happy to share this. I remember when I was diagnosed with cancer, people said to me, why you? And my reply intuitively was, what should I say? Why not you? What is this kind of way of thinking? Like, why you? Who are, I mean, I'm here on this planet. Something obviously was so disconnected from who I truly am that there is no other way for me to stop. And again, I'm sharing this story, knowing as well that if you watching this, listening to this, are going through something like cancer or another autoimmune disease, I'm not the guru telling you, how to heal and how to. No, but I hope that my story will resonate.
Sorry, we're in technical difficulties.
It
It
appears that
appears
we
that we
just
just
froze
froze
and
and
echoing.
echoing.
Colleen, are we
Colleen, are we
set
set
to go
to go
forward?
forward?
I do hear an echo,
Echo,
of which I'm not sure where it's coming from.
Oh, Nancy?
Nancy?
I don't know how to shut myself off. I'm so sorry. Can
That's okay. I just did that.
Okay. I think we're good.
I think we
Which you,
got
and
on
you
the echo.
take those mini tools, mini moments, and understand as well that, you know, I've been now that has been 13 years ago. And in the last 13 years, and I truly can see that I am a teenager, a soul teenager walking this planet now. Although, you know, I'm 41, but I'm a teenager because 13 years ago, cancer stopped me. And without cancer, I would not be where I am right now, speaking my truth, with full authenticity, with full vulnerability, knowing as well that we are on this planet to go through the soul's journey, but also help each other, connect with each other, and as a collective, as a community, come together and be like, you know what? I know pain, and I will never say in any invalid way about your pain, but come here, brother, come here, sister. Let's join forces. You're not alone on this path. And the breath of celebration has this power, because when you start tapping into the playfulness, curiosity of your divine being on this planet, and then connect to the smoothness, softness, kindness of the breath, you are limitless. You are tapping into something so powerful that will give you permission to be your fullest self. And as you beautifully mentioned, Karina, it's like there's the breath awareness, there's the breath work, and there's just that flow of breath that comes without any force. It's just there. So that is the beauty, truly, of being alive and being human, because we are spiritual beings having a human experience, but we are human. We're human
Yes.
beings. And we
Very
signed this
human.
contract. We signed this contract.
Yeah, we did. It's a cosmic contract. And think of it that way when you think that your experiences are very prolonged. Just remember, it is a cosmic contract, and we're here, but we're human being here. And it is about not ignoring, but acknowledging absolutely what we're going through. The more you ignore, the more it's going to persist. In order to pass through, let this energy flow through us, we have to actually validate, as you said, Purot, validate. It is real. Everybody is feeling exactly what they are feeling. It is not a minimization or a comparison. Whatever large or small, the intensity is the intensity of what it is. And it is the difference of the pain versus the suffering. Getting stuck in the suffering, breath will help you flow through that as well and not be stuck there. And this is very important to understand this factor, this point. Breath is underestimated as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It is our life force energy. Without it, we're not here. So that alone, if you sit with that just for a moment and feel the magnitude of that, then how can it not be powerful for you when you embrace it, when you focus, when you celebrate? And it is, Purata, about having that childlike laughter, innocence, wonder. What's next? What can happen? How to be. Children are open. And just because you're an adult does not mean that you can't carry that childlike energy. In Sufi, that's exactly what we always work for, is to let go and have that with us so we can celebrate life. Because right now, we have this one life. We are living this one life. And it's a choice of how one lives it, not about set of circumstances that come into our path from the external that we don't have control over, but we do have control over our perception, and our behavior and our mindset in our choices. And
Yes.
so celebrate, open the heart, You can't stay closed if you celebrate. It's just amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautifully,
And
beautifully said. Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead,
No,
Claudia.
I'm just want to say that sometimes we also forget that, and this is something that when I learned it, I was so angry about it, because when I really understand that I am responsible of my life,
Yeah.
when you really feel in every one of your cells that, oh my God, that was my responsibility, there's no one else responsible of my life right now. It's, oh my God, I was like, I cannot now, there's no other guilt. Like I cannot say, oh, my mom or my dad, or no, because you're already an adult, right? You have now, you can have choices, like you say, Karina. And I think when you have that thought deep in your core that you are responsible of your life, then what are you waiting for? If you know that you're going to die, memento mori, why are you waiting for? Start celebrating. What are you waiting for? Using your breath to have a better life, to celebrate your life. If we're going to die anyway, we don't know when, we don't know how, but we will, right? So we get into that moment of really awareness that, okay, so it's my responsibility, this is my life, it's my choice, and I can just move forward step by step. It can be a very little step, maybe a different thing to do every single day, and it will give you a different perception. But yeah, I think that sometimes we forget that, and with awareness of the breath, that you are so present in your body, you cannot be in the future, you cannot be in the past, you have to be right now in this moment. When I'm breathing is when you really recognize the power of the now. So what I'm going to do now to feel,
Absolutely.
And there's also another thing that I want to add, nearly like a tagline to all that you just said and shared, because this gave me so much permission to be my honest, authentic, vulnerable, love, kind, funky, groovy, weird Piotr. The fact that nobody has
That's a
this
good
life figured
adjective
out.
for him, by the way.
No, but this is, if you can take one thing from this conversation, nobody has this life figured out. So don't give anyone permission to tell you how to live your life. You're here to truly stand in full power with joy, playfulness, and loving kindness towards yourself. The stories, the forgiveness, the compassion towards your parents, your upbringing, your culture, your beliefs about age, gender, sexuality. All these things, when they show up and you start zooming out, and the breath helps you. I love this kind of concept of zooming out, because when you stop for just a moment, become curious about the thoughts that you're having, the beliefs that you're having about yourself, your life, how you should be, who you should not be, who you should be with, what kind of salary you should have, what role you should be playing, blah, 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 blah. Zoom out, the breath helps, and then see, is this actually something that I really want? The I am in me, the divinity in each cell of my body? Am I really here to just constantly rush and be in fear and be in doubt and in shame and in all the mental chatter that, again, because I do believe in this, like, balancing nearly like a scale, right? So if throughout life you have told yourself stories and you believed in your suffering. I'm very conscious about this, when I say this, because I give always everyone a big hug when they believe in their suffering, and that's totally fine. I did that as well. But when you start zooming out and seeing that I'm not the suffering, and let me just see how I can rewrite some of these stories, and I can change the narrative. And what Claudia and you, Karina, beautifully mentioned, because you can choose. You can choose. It's not going to be easy at the start. No. So straight away, let's just put that out. It's not like you're going to just take one breath. You're done. You're amazing. Woohoo! Life is so limitless. No, but it's like the beautiful thing about the journey itself is that you start appreciating and loving the journey as it is, not the result. There is no result, right? There is the journey as it is, day by day, moment by moment, season transitions by season transition, snake into horse, all of this. And you start seeing that you are part of this cosmic, beautiful, container of love. just seeing glimpses of that will allow you to really be in this fullest expression of self without any doubt that you are an amazing miracle of life.
Yes.
Absolutely. When that is so beautiful, and it is so profound when people hear this for the first time, or even the second or the third. It takes a while to seep in, and yes, it's for you, everyone, not just Perot, not just Claudia, not just myself, everyone. We are these magnificent beings, and it's bringing us back to our wholeness. So I look at it more like a reawakening, because we forget, we get disconnected when we squeeze ourselves into this human body of our fullness, our wholeness. And so all of this comes to, in its interesting year of the snake, I had this beautiful white hawk visit me, and he actually shedded, not his feathers, but shedded his skin, and he was only like a foot away. And my Four Nations name is White Hawk. So he was talking to me at that point, and that's why coming into the year of the horse, a sacred activation is here being transmitted for everyone, because yes, it's new beginnings, it is sacred, it is movement, and but it's also still time to reflect and recognize what you've gone through, where you are, where you want to go. And the only one that defines you is you.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
my goal is to keep bringing more light up in all of you, raise your frequency higher, because the more you celebrate, literally your frequency is higher. And the more often you do this, the more you can live in that higher frequency. But when you're in the lower frequency, that is very real too. But you have tools. As adults, you have tools. So I'm going to segue to our few tools that, as takeaways, that we want to give you before we close this evening. What would you like to share on some simple tools that people can do right where they are right now, and start to feel the shift? And through this transmission, they will feel it even more as they keep coming back.
I love that. I love that opportunity. So I will say that an exercise that I really love to do is try to make a list every single day of what is really make you feel pleasure and joy, and or what would you do when you were younger that makes you feel, excited, and just write down that list. Watch it every day, read it every day, and breathe through that. Smile in your face. Tell to your brain that you are having pleasure in that moment. 5 minutes of remembering where you feel pleasure. How do you feel pleasure? Maybe it's a cup of coffee. Maybe it's a conversation with your friend. Maybe it's just part of your body. Whatever it is, just remember that we are here to have that pleasure of a state. So if you do that list, you read it every single day, and then just breathe and feel in every single part of the body that pleasure state, your day will be completely different. The present vibration.
Yeah, no, and I'm gonna add to that. Don't wait for big things to celebrate. You celebrate the fact that you're watching this, that you're with us, because this is a collective. You're with us. Exactly. Celebrate the candle that you have. Celebrate the water that you're drinking. Celebrate the food. Celebrate the breath. Celebrate small little things, because what will happen is suddenly you start shifting, as I mentioned about the scale and the balancing of all the stories that were maybe low vibrational. You start bringing all the other little things in that will suddenly bring that scale into balance. And then you start seeing how, the bird, the animal, the every single thing you'll be able to celebrate. You don't have to wait for the big things to celebrate. I'm also, because I'm so obsessed about the body, the soma. So right now I'm high-fiving you. There you go, high five. You can high five me back. High five me back. Perfect. Also, hug yourself. Give yourself a hug. A little tool. We wait so often for hugs from others, where we are each other's greatest supporters and cheerleaders. So hold that hug. You can even close your eyes, take a breath in and a breath out, and you can even kiss your shoulder. Mwah, and celebrate yourself. Thank you for walking this path. Thank you for all the experiences. Thank you for all the stories. Thank you for it all. But I am here right now and I'm a resilient being, willing to celebrate each breath, willing to celebrate who I truly am. And these small little tools, the high-fiving, yourself in the mirror as well, which I always do. Smile, as Claudia mentioned, smile and be playful. Dance whenever you feel like dancing, and just understand that you are a magical being. And little by little, breath by breath, celebrate by celebrate, you'll feel the shift happening. And when the shift happens, you'll radiate that magic. And then the whole world will be impacted. You vibrate higher with the frequency of the planet, and you'll see how you're impacting now you and the collective. So these are the small little tools that I'm very happy to share. And please just feel that connection to the body. And then the mind,
Yes.
it's the mental chatter is there. It will always be there. Be more kind, compassionate towards the stories that are running the show sometimes, because then you can rewrite the stories.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. And physically also what one can do, especially when you feel like off balance, out of sort, a little anxiety, hand on the heart, hand on the belly, and just breathe in slowly through the nose. I am safe. Exhale. I am here.
Yeah.
I am alive. Because as Claudia had said, and we all say, celebration is a birthright. You're not alone. And the next breath is waiting for you.
Yes.
And with
Full
that,
permission to be your honest,
full
authentic,
permission.
beautiful self. Full permission.
Absolutely. And so with that, I want to thank gorgeous, beautiful, vibrant Claudia Solis and my vivacious, playful child, Perot Chipiel. I said it right. They will be joining us throughout the year when we go into the talk shows of holistic health on topic. We'll be diving deeper into their areas of expertise through the year. So please make sure that you follow them. I will have all their information for you in our gratitude gift basket for being here. And also information on the retreats and other things that they're doing this year and this year coming up. It's a lot, and Ireland's going to be one of them. I tell you, I'm going to be there. So we are all so grateful that you've been here. We send so much love, so much joy to all of you for this amazing, beautiful, wonderful holiday season. Be open to receive. Allow yourself. You have permission. Make sure you have permission to remember that. And please keep coming back for the rest of the summit with these amazing speakers. Well, we are having some serious technical difficulties this evening, but that is not going to stop us because there were so many glitches in that pre-recording. I will be putting it up on YouTube separately after this, just so you can go back and watch it without interference. But it was kind of interesting where it was stopping and where the expressions were. But more importantly, it was the information and to understand the breadth of celebration. And I really feel that Perot and Claudia brought that forward so beautifully. So we're trying to straighten out some tech. There's some tech issues with Zoom. There's tech issues with sharing recordings. Hopefully not so many issues are going problematic in YouTube. So the way we're going to try and bring Stephanie Bay on, and she is from Germany, and because of the time frame, we did pre-record this. This is all about safety, stress versus strength, how to feel safe, and how to build resilience. So I am going to attempt to share it from this end. We've got all this different weather going on. I dropped down to 3 degrees and I'm hoping that we don't have any continued issues. But thank you for being here, because when we are working with such energy, these little things, don't let them bother you. Just take a nice breath in, exhale and relax with it. Because we're working with frequencies here. And sometimes when we're working in higher frequencies, tech and things which are actually lower, we're not synced up. And we just saw a little bit of that. So the frequencies we still are bringing for you, with faith, it's not about a belief. It's actually your knowingness inside that we're working with. And when it comes to hope, it's not something passive that we're talking about. What it is creative and it is alive. And that is what we're going to keep bringing to you. And the love, we're not talking about our romantic love. We're talking about the love that keeps coming back over and over again, that you keep coming to in order to move forward. So it is the higher frequencies that we are working with. And so I am going to take the moment and share. We'll see how this goes. Give me just a quick moment. I am not 1,000% sure on how to bring this one up, but I am going to do my best. Oops. Because now we are working with Stephanie Bay.
Well, welcome everyone.
Oh,
Thank
no,
you.
you can't
for
welcome yet. We're
continuing
not on a share yet. I'm getting the whole thing, and I have a lot going on here. So give me a very quick moment, please. Since I was not prepared to be doing this one. Okay, so let's share screen 1. Are we there, Colleen?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So this is Stephanie Bay coming from
That's
Germany.
with the 5th annual Faith, Hope, and Love Summit. And we are focusing on a sacred activation for the new year for you. And with that, the way you hear what is going to come across is going to actually go deeper, because there's a transmission that happens with all of this. And so we are operating in a higher frequency for you, so you can receive easier, especially during this sacred holy time where the veils are thinner, there's more magic in the air, and it's easier to receive what it is you need to receive. So now I am bringing to you a wonderful guest all the way from Germany. who's also now become a dear friend. This is Stephanie Bay. She is a CEO of Life Bay and holds a master in science. She's a resilience and self-leader expert. Okay, so you're gonna want to know what that's going to be about. So we are going to go into this evening for you to understand about what foundation it takes to literally become resilient in all the chaotic survival mode that we actually are staying in at a constant pattern instead of being able to come out of that. So now we have to literally consciously take action to come out of that stress level. And once you do start really learning the tools to self-regulate, you now have control over your situation. You do, of course, have that calmness, but that calmness brings you that clarity. And it also brings you an assurity of safety and confidence. So with that, I want to bring Stephanie to you. And Stephanie, I would love for you to tell the audience a little bit about yourself, of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, so we're gonna we're gonna talking about the how you become resilient, how you become a resilient leader of your life. And but maybe before we start, Karina, because at the beginning of the weeks before the holidays, it's always like we have a combination of tenderness and tension, and we literally feel the weight of the year in the bodies, and the season always helps us to reflect on that we sometimes are very exhausted because the life has been very full. Many things happened because we rush through, we carry so much, and we always push through, and we breathe just enough to get by, but we don't breathe enough to feel really grounded. Maybe before we begin, for all the listeners, I would like to invite you just for a moment to simply arrive in the moment, to notice your breath, and to really land here as you are, because the way you are is just perfect. At the end of a very, very long year. Suddenly breathe into your nose and out. Really sink into your seat. Feel the feet on the ground. Having the length of your spine from the head down. And just notice how you're breathing right now. Okay. So it's always good to give ourselves some seconds to just arrive and be present. So, okay, as you already know, my name is Stephanie, and I just say some words about myself. I have been working at the intersection of personal development and leadership, as well as organizational development and resilience for years. Before, I have been working in the industry, in the business area, supporting leaders really how to shift to work with change, how to really shape personalities, people development for personal people, as well as in the area of organizational development.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to stop the share and move this screen so you can see it larger. It's going to take a little bit. If you can give me just a couple of moments, I will get a larger share out there for you. I don't want you straining watching, since we're running into all these technical difficulties tonight. Very unexpected, but it's all okay. It's just all okay. So let's try this to continue from where we were. Okay, can we see the full screen, Colleen? Larger. Thumbs up? Yes?
It is not full screen yet.
Okay. Zoom is giving us a lot of trouble tonight, folks. I'm going to stop and try it one more time. Bear with us. I do apologize, but obviously this is closing the cycle after 5 years and it doesn't want to close, but it's meant to. Okay, how are we now?
Yes, good. We are full screen now.
We are full screen now, and okay. Now all I have to do is be able to reach it to continue it.
And alongside different roles, I have my own business right now. After 10 years in the industry myself, I'm now working especially with women, female women, to really empower them, help them having a career, being successful in all the different roles they have. And yeah, that's what I do.
Hey, that is what you do.
Yeah. So it's really about, bringing us like back to shift the autopilot and coming back to calm and clarity, and really build up a resilient foundation. And the foundation is always linked with the breath, because if we don't breathe correctly, our nervous system is not in the right level. So it's a leverage for the nervous system. It's a remote control.
Absolutely. So to give them even a little bit more background to understand, because often people hear, everybody's carrying so much stress and not really being able to release it. But there is data behind that for the stress landscape. And so you want to give them a little bit of data so they understand the actual intensity that we do experience.
Yeah, for sure. Current research actually paints a very clear picture here. We are having data from McKinsey showing that 37% of the employees report emotional and physical exhaustion, and only 51% feel truly healthy. And especially in Germany, we have 41% of the employees in Germany really experiencing very high stress level. And on a global level, it's even 74% of employees showing signs of burnout. The study from 2021. So it's quite intense, I think. 7 million people have mentally already given up on their jobs, and only 9% feel truly engaged at work. Come on, it's just 9%. And when we take a closer look at these data, what we find is it's not that they are not strong enough. Yeah, that's not the fact, but the fact is that their nervous system is overloaded.
Absolutely. 1000%. 1000%. And that's why actually this talk is being wrapped around from stress to strength. And there is a breathwork path that you can return back to an inner safety and a resilience.
Yeah.
So that's what we're structuring this around for you tonight, with some tips of not just information, but actually what you can do a little bit. So, okay, you speak often, about the evolutionary mismatch.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I like that word, because it's because we are evolutionary, biologically designed for a world that is like living on community, having natural rhythms, having a slower change, like having clear dangers and then have time for recovery. But we are 24/7 on. Yeah. So we have a digital overload, we have social comparison, we have cognitive pressure, we have ambiguous threats, we have no real off time. So the nervous system is constant, and the nervous system is asking just one question all the time: am I safe? And if it cannot feel clear signs of safety, that's what it's not finding, because we are 24/7 on. Yeah. Then we are going and shifting into survival mode. And we haven't learned, and we don't know, most people don't know. Sometimes when we feel overstressed and we feel that overload, it's just the overload of the nervous system. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just the system that has so much charge, and it needs to release. And
Absolutely.
it's a natural response of the nervous system to the world that no longer exists. The word from some thousand years ago, it's no longer comparable to the world we are living in now.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is that people don't understand, just because they're feeling all this stress, that they literally are in survival mode automatically. And it isn't that something's wrong with them. And that's a very important key, because then they're grasping at all these other things that doesn't help alleviate the stress and regulate them again, when there are simple things in order to come from a survival mode and go into leadership of your own life. And then leadership if in fact you have a family, if in fact you're in a business of any type and you have people under you or you have partnerships. It matters for our existence. And yes, we're living in a different existence now than when we had to be running away from being
the tiger.
Yeah.
But sometimes the tiger, even these days, is just in our heads. It's not. If we really look and is it really true? Is it really, really true? Most of the time, it's just created in the head. But the thing is, we can function in survival mode. That's not the key, but we cannot lead from it. Yeah. Because the state keeps us alive until to a certain point where the system really collapses into a kind of freeze, or a shutdown. However, we really kill all the creativity. We kill the empathy. We have not the real capacity for good decision making, for communication, to really be present, because when we are in survival mode, we feel tense, we feel overwhelmed, we feel disconnected, and foremost disconnected to ourselves.
Absolutely. And there goes all of our energy.
I cannot hear you.
Oh, you can't hear? Oh,
Okay.
sorry. So there goes all of our energy. There is no bandwidth for anything else. And when you do get into that total depletion, running this way for so long, now you do start to feel and see physical conditions. It cannot be helped. You can only run in fear and stress for so many years. And yes, we do function in all of it, because most people are.
Yeah.
But are we healthy? Are we connected? Are we as loving people as we can be? Are we making the best decisions? Are we living the life that we want to live?
Yeah. And here, resilience is often misunderstood as pushing through.
Oh yeah.
But and applied resilience really mean that your nervous system can turn to stability even when life is unstable. And this really means staying grounded under pressure, expanding your inner capacity. And we always talk about growing the inner capacity of dealing with the outer world. So when we really connect to the breathing and we practice, we really expand that inner capacity. Yeah. So, and when we are conscious about that, we can easily recover from things that are challenging us. We are more in a position of responding than reacting. Yeah, we are leading from a source of presence and not panic. So this is really, and this is what resilience means. Yeah, we are able to behave in a certain manner, but not just react. And the tools we have for that, heart rate variability, we have breathing patterns, we talk about CO2 tolerance, yeah, and the vagus nerve. So there are many points in the human, how you say that, construction in our bodies. I don't know the English word right now.
That's okay. But the human physicality,
The physicality, yeah. So yeah, that's what it does. And
here's the
most
thing.
people,
A lot of people, you mentioned the vagus nervous system. A lot of people don't even understand that.
Yeah.
And that is the highway of the communication to all of our organs.
Yeah. Because we have always learned from that the nervous system is just separated in the sympathetic part and parasympathetic. So we have the activation and we have the relaxation. But the relaxation part is really like divided into two other parts. So we have the one that is really going into shutdown. Shutdown can also be positive, because when we are relaxed, when we are safe and relaxed, the body really can go down into a really deep level of relaxation. Or we can be in a play, activated, but we know we are safe. But these are different parts. So we talk about polyvagal theory, but this is too much for now. But just to understand that we have it in our own responsibility, yeah, that we can breathe, and that we always have. And what I really like to understand, you have the responsibility for yourself to bring yourself into these states. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
because only and the breathing here is really when we are regulated, when we are connected and grounded, we can lead effectively, we can make good decisions, and we can respond flexibly to new challenges.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go next.
Yeah.
And therefore, being responsible. And there are methods and easy things to learn. And it depends on really what resonates out there with individuals. Because yes, there are many different types of techniques, but there is a few very basic ancient techniques in any methodology that are consistent, because they're so simplistic and they're so powerful, but people kind of dismiss, how could this possibly do anything for me? So it is too about opening up your perception, looking at a different perspective than what you're carrying now, even if you've heard this before. I love it when people say, well, I've already heard that.
Yeah, or it's, I'm even with the breath, I'm breathing all day long. I said, okay, I know, but
you have to be, or you won't be alive.
You won't be alive. Yeah, people are not aware of that because it's automatic and it's normal. It's just because it's already there. It's the only automatic function we can actively control. Yeah. So simply put, and the breath is the bridge between the body and the mind. And it's always the mirror of your inner state. So it's really the gateway to regulation, to safety, and to presence. Yeah.
Absolutely. And this is something that everybody can learn, not just a selected few. This is for everybody, but it is a level of awareness. That's the difference. And
because when we breathe consciously, Karina, we send signals to our body and to the brain that we are safe and that we are in control. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that we can shift. This is really that we can shift from survival mode into thriving mode. Yeah. And that changes everything.
It absolutely changes everything. And the energy shift that happens impacts every dimension of the being, every dimension. And so we're not going to go deep into that tonight, because that's not the focus. However, with the breath, just because it is something that has been automatic, doesn't mean that you can't consciously change some patterns. for you and have tools in your tool chest when you feel anxiety and panic and unsafe and confused and foggy mind and exhausted. All those different things and a lot more can be switched around for you. But it's something that you have to make a choice that you want to. And it's not a one and done either. This is something that you have to, you have to adopt the desire to take on a new pattern, and you can turn around and call it ceremonial, you can call it a ritual, you can call it, a discipline, you can call it anything you want.
Can you just tell you a little story here? I have some clients who ask when I go through them with the breathing coaching and working on the nervous system, and when we are in the process, and oftentimes they do the exercise at home, I said, okay, do I have to do that now every day? I said, if you want something to change, yes. It's not just it's not just the time you're in a process of shifting something that you are committed and that you have the responsibility. It's always a question of, do I want to take responsibility for my life, for my happiness, for my joy, for all these beautiful things in life. So, and that's why we have to commit to, even if it's 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day really shift something.
Well, that was going to be my next point. We're not talking about sitting for hours trying
meditating. No,
trying to make something happen. It really is literally a few minutes consciously and embracing the act of what you're doing that helps shift everything. And you want your energy to shift, and that is something that you're not going to see, but you're going to see the results that start to come into your life, the calmness. Things will start to flow with you easier, or when they don't, you'll be able to stay very focused with it, or not triggered, or even if you are triggered, you'll come out of that trigger so much faster. And you'll also be able to start identifying when the physical body has had too much, or when your mind has taken on too much, or where you're leaking out your energy.
But where's your breath in these moments? Most of the time in these situations, the breath is shallow, the breath is rapid, or it's chest-based. Or irregular, like having a chaotic breath or a paradoxic breathing, inhale and exhale.
And often people start just breathing with their mouth and not with their nose too. That's a very strong indication.
So there are some indicators, really, because chronic stress doesn't just affect the mind, it really changes the way how we're breathing. And then we develop dysfunctional breathing patterns, and this really leads to a lot of diseases.
It most certainly does.
Yeah.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of people are going to say, okay, oh my God, how long is this going to take? Okay, again, this is new. And people feel that their plate is way too full to begin with. Okay. They go, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to take on another thing. What is it going to take to do? Well, first off, that isn't the attitude to hold, okay? Because it's like, I have something that can shift this for me. And being an energy architect, I want to encourage you that if even the slightest possibility that, well, maybe I'll give it a try, I'm going to recommend something, and I recommend it to all of my students, is that just carve out 30 days, just 30 days. And in those 30 days, you want to take 3 to 5 minutes in the morning to start your day, to trigger off endorphins, to have a brighter outlook for the day.
it's like a treat, you know. Have a nice treat for yourself in the morning to have a good start into your day. It's just
It is a treat. When you start to really feel and see the difference, it's something that you look forward to doing. It really is.
Mhm.
And in the evening, again, it's like dusting the dirt off your feet from the day. You don't want to take the troubles into bed, into your sleep, bad sleep that way. So again, just 3 to 5 minutes.
Mhm.
But here's the caveat. If you miss a day, you have to start the count over. So I'm talking about 30 consecutive days. And I promise you, within that period of time, you will have a new breathing pattern for yourself. And you'll have tools for a lifetime. So I just want to give you that invitation. Because I know it works. Now, the Qigong master that I study under, he has 90 days that you have to do consistently. Okay,
Yeah, but you know, in order to implement really something that is new, like a ritual, you have to have like 30 to 60 days, or even to 90 days until really you take over these kind of new rituals in your life. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you don't have to pay anything for it, you know, you don't have to invest money for it, you know, you already have it. So just use it.
That's exactly right. So value it, because you don't have to pay for it, but you do pay a price for it long term if you stay really chronic and irregular for a very long time.
You know, and you know me, I have the picture of with the farmer. I always bring it because it's so, I love this metaphor, you know.
Yeah,
So
I love it too.
If you imagine being a farmer and your goal is really to harvest a rich crop that's resilient, that's growth and success. But what happens if you don't regularly take care of the soil? Yeah, so if you don't prepare, if you don't nurture, if you don't create the right conditions for growing, the ground becomes hard, the plants don't grow properly, and the harvest never comes. So this is exactly what happens if you really neglect the foundation for your resilience, and that's the breath, you know.
I do love that metaphor.
Yeah.
I really do. It's
So you have to take care of the inner soil, and the inner soil is the nervous system. And the quickest way to shift that is the breathing.
That's very true. And all of the type of works that we do, you're always going to hear us talk about the breath. It is in the foreground because it is the, some people like to say, secret sauce. Some people like to say it's the key element, it's the secret. But it's because breath is life force energy. And when you can start to honestly wrap your head around it enough to really revere that, then you can start to understand the depth of what the breath can really do for you and how you can start running your life instead of your life running you, which is very important. And because of that note, I want to segue a little bit over to women themselves, and not excluding you men at all, but with female leadership focus. Something that is true is that women often carry an invisible double load. So what does that actually mean? And it's something that, and if you're a caregiver, male or female, this also seriously applies.
But it's especially the women, you know, because there are performance expectations. We have emotional labor, we have the perfectionism, we have the caregiving roles. We are a mother, we are a friend, we are a partner, you know, and we have a pressure to be strong and soft at the same time. So it's we have there's a lot to carry, yeah. So yeah, but that's the way it is. So calm and resilient self leadership. And this can be hard. When I say it can be hard, we have to be able to set boundaries. We have to make tough decisions. So we have to lead without losing ourselves. And the breathing is really softening us. It really helps us to not disappear under pressure, to show
I
up.
like that, not disappear.
Yeah, to not
Okay.
disappear. Because we are all over the place, and we have to do for others, but we lose ourselves. And in order not to lose ourselves, we have to strengthen our position, and we really have to come back to this thing that we treat ourselves, and even if it's just with 5 minutes breathing consciously.
Absolutely, because we have to constantly rejuvenate ourselves. And so a simple little analogy is that, well, I always have tons, but here's one. If somebody is in trouble, let's say in the water, and you're on the boat, and there are a whole bunch of people in the water, something happened, and you just go diving in, which most females do. So we're using up all our energy, but what happens? We're not taking care of ourselves. And if anybody knows anything about anybody drowning, that they will pull you under without even a thought, not intentionally, but it happens automatically. So when people have situations that are difficult, stressful situations that they're not dealing with, and they're not taking any form of responsibility, but they're just grabbing onto you for you to help fix it. And if you don't first, honestly, bring yourself back to your own center and your own grounding, and pay attention to how much energy you actually have to help while you're still standing in your own, and yes, this takes some practice, then you go down. You get exhausted because all your energy is leaked out from all of this. And believe it or not, as you're taking on other people's stresses like this, your breathing becomes erratic if you're not focused with it. And so you get depleted faster and faster. And then what help are you to anyone? The person that doesn't put their preserver on, their safety mechanism. Breathing is a safety mechanism. It's an empowering mechanism. It's a resilient mechanism. It's a rejuvenation mechanism. I know that's a lot.
I couldn't agree more. So yeah. So if we really want to build resilience for our own, it's breathing is just not a soft skill, it's the foundation of everything.
It really is. So we want to be able to give this beautiful audience, after giving them all these different points, what easy, helpful tips can they start with?
You could just start with like coherent breathing, like having and always breathing through the nose, by the way. Yeah. Stop breathing through the mouth, breathe through the nose. Yeah. So find yourself in a centrist position, yeah, so that your spine is upward, okay, and then you just breathe in for 4 seconds and you breathe out for 4 to 6 seconds, yeah. So that you either do the prolonged breathing, like you breathe in for 4 and you breathe out for 6 or 8 seconds, look what is convenient for you, or you just use a coherent breath, breathing 4 in and 4 out, and always through the nose, and find that mechanism, because the coherent breathing is really aligning your heartbeat and the breath with it all together.
And your blood pressure.
Blood pressure is like regulated, so your nervous system is calming down. So this is like really a good thing to start with.
Absolutely. Now, one thing I don't want them to misunderstand, there are breathing techniques where you absolutely exhale with the mouth consciously.
Yes.
It depends on what the purpose of the breathing technique serves. That's the
For
difference.
example, in all the transformative breathing sessions I give, we have because it's accelerating the nervous system, because we want to breathe ourselves into a widened consciousness. So then we use, for sure, the breathing through the mouth, because the mouth is connected to the chest and the sympathetic nervous system part, and the nose is connected to the parasympathetic part. That's why we breathe through the nose. That's why we breathe through the nose. So yeah.
And then, of course, there's more aspects to it.
Yes.
A lot more that we do and we teach and we bring you through, because the breath work can actually be a pharmacy of all different conditions of what is happening with your body, as a very healthy alternative instead of taking pharmaceuticals. So there is much more to explore, and we're going to thank Stephanie Bay for being with us for this period of time. She will be with us during the year of 2026. We do series of holistic health on topic. We take little snippets and do highlights with all of that. And please go ahead and look on the YouTube and you will see a whole series that we've done. But also, coming into the beginning of the new year, we are going to bring you a beautiful webinar about the breath advantage. And we have different aspects about that. And there's more to come for the first whole quarter of next year. So we invite you right now to consider start that 30-day and be consistent, and don't cheat yourself if you skip a day. And it happens, trust me, it always happens. Things get in the way. This is new. Then start over and make yourself a little check sheet. That way you'll keep yourself honest. And make little notes about subtle differences, because when you do that, now you have something to go on when you don't quite feel like it, and you reflect back and you go, oh, well, wait a minute, that did happen. Okay. And then, of course, as you heard, gratitude is something that starts to flow into your body. And so we are talking about, also with the breath work, it does raise your frequency. And we will continue to get more into that. So this is the sacred activation for you. Even if you've heard it before, please sit with this, hear a little bit more, allow yourself to hear it like it's the first time. And if there is any gem within this, then please receive it. And with that, I want to thank you, Stephanie, so much for coming from Germany to be with us.
Yeah.
And have the most blessed holidays.
Yeah, you too. And give yourself all the time to reconnect. This is a really, like, Christmas, New Year start. It's always a space to reconnect, to step out of autopilot, to reclaim clarity, and to strengthen your inner foundation just by breathing consciously.
Exactly. It is a conscious choice. And so
then we're happy to see you next year.
Oh, yes, we are. So I am going to encourage you to continue for the next 2 evenings. This is the first evening of the 9th, and we still have the 10th and the 11th, because we are building momentum for you. We are helping to break some barriers for you and set the atmosphere so it is easier for you to receive during this period of time. And please keep watching the replays if that helps. And with that, we're going to send you off with so much love, so much gratitude. Thank you so much for being here and allowing us to come into your home. We're wishing you the best of all the holidays, new beautiful memories, beautiful reflections, to understand where you want to go from here. And please reach out to us. You will be receiving a gratitude gift basket at the completion of the summit. And with that wonderful resources, you will be able to have something from Stephanie to keep you moving forward, and her contact information and what is coming up so you can peruse. So please stay in touch with us, and we would love to stay in touch with you. With that, we're going to wish you a beautiful day. And God bless you.
God bless you. Bye.
Bye. Well, thank you. So, is it any wonder why this evening was Breath of Becoming? We specifically wanted to focus on what is the very best for you, how to start grounding, to understand the reverence of when you consciously breathe, what it can do for you, and different perspectives of how it can get you through difficult times that are difficult times, and you acknowledge them, the fact that they are. So tomorrow evening, we are going into the hope aspect, expression, and the rise of your authentic self. And tomorrow evening, we have 2 live guests coming. And that's going to run a little shorter tomorrow night and Thursday night. This was just a little lengthier than we anticipated, and so sorry for the tech issues, but we will do our best to straighten it out for you. And we're just going to send you off with beautiful love and wonderful hope, restful evening, a beautiful morning, whatever time frame you are. And know that whenever you do watch this, there is no barrier of distance or time. The transmission keeps moving energetically. So receive whatever there is for you to receive, whatever you resonate with. And if you have not registered, as we were speaking about the gratitude gift basket, you must get on the registration list. Otherwise, in YouTube, we don't know who is watching and who isn't. So until tomorrow evening, thank you for the lovely people that have come into our private inner circle this evening. We thank you, and to have your energy here for us and for everybody else watching. Thank you very, very much. And for all of you who are out there watching us, we just want to wish you the very best, the most momentous brand new year. And as Perot did say, we are finishing up the year of the snake, shedding off everything that we no longer serves us, no longer is aligned, and we're coming into the year of the horse, which is everything moves faster, comes together, and moves into a quantum era. And that's why this cycle is closing, to make room for that. So until tomorrow evening, we are going to wish you the most pleasant day or morning, midday, and send you off with so many blessings. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you tomorrow night on our time.